If you click on the verified check mark on each account, it'll tell you whether it was done by Twitter or if it was bought.
Whether it was done by Twitter or was bought. So basically, you have a wiener or not wiener filter.
Welcome to episode 53 of Beyond the Bench on the Empty the Bench Podcast Network. Nick Fodera, Nick Morgasen, and a phone going off in the background. Nick, how's your week been?
A little bit under the weather here and there, but I've been able to pull myself together for the sake of our wonderful audience, because we do have a lot to discuss this week. A lot of weird stuff, a lot of crazy stuff, but that's pretty much our raison d'etre here.
Make sure you follow the show across social media at Beyond the Bench 1 on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Beyond the Bench 1. Follow the Empty the Bench Podcast Network at ETV Network, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. By the way, this show is, if you go on our TikTok account at ETV Network, we actually had a clip blow up on Kanye West talking about the block on Twitter.
Oh boy.
But speaking of Twitter, let's talk about today's episode. We'll run it down quickly and then we'll get on to today's show. Yes, Twitter. I'll just leave it at that. Twitter.
It's a multi-part story because there's just so much.
And I'll leave you with one word before we get to that story. Verification.
Yep.
Also in today's episode, and we seem to have bad luck every time this happens in an episode. Unfortunately, Aaron Carter passed away. Mm-hmm. Now, most people who were born in the 90s, like you and I were, will know who that is.
I definitely know who that is.
If you were born before that, you might not know who he is. If you were born in the 2000s, you might not know who he is. Mm. So if you're a 90s kid, you'll definitely know who he is. Also, the CDC says do not eat meat or cheese from any deli counter unless it's steaming hot.
So basically,
don't eat it.
Yeah, don't eat it.
Also, Emily Ratajkowski is taking stepfather applications.
Oh God! I mean, this is just going to end up being a creepazoid fest, isn't it?
Probably. There's going to be a bunch of dick pics in there, probably. Also, we'll get into the Commanders, not from the sports angle. This is more the pop culture, what's going on in the world of Dan Snyder. That's always fun to go inside his brain and see what's going on in there. There might be some cobwebs in there, though.
Kind of empty in there. It's like a studio apartment for a bachelor. It's like God. Oh my! Why is it so empty in here?
Or what is it? The Family Guy did a bit like what's in a single guy's refrigerator: sour milk, half carton of eggs,
a bottle of mustard, and nothing to put it on.
Right. That's kind of Daniel Snyder right now.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Also, if we weren't just crapping on Twitter, we're gonna crap on Facebook. Also, Facebook laying off thousands of employees
because the fun never stops when you're on social media.
Hey, if we had Instagram, TikTok, and whatever 3 other platforms, we'd be red zone at this point.
Yep.
Also, AMC creating Zoom rooms in theaters
for the people who want to go to the movies without actually going to the movies and without the actual movies. So,
or they have to wear pants.
Yeah, exactly.
But all right, so we have a lot to get to. Let's get into it. And unfortunately, like I said, I'm going to start with one word: Twitter.
So, last time we left this story, Elon Musk had basically taken control of the Twitter. He's taken control of the mobile home that is Twitter.
Well,
he's now proceeding to drive it off a cliff.
Wait, he technically has already owned Twitter. He was just in a legal battle to see whether do I have to Do I want to?
Got buyer's remorse, and then all of a sudden Jack Dorsey was, oh, no, you don't, you motherfucker. Get back over here.
Well, it really wasn't Jack Dorsey. It was pretty much the board of Twitter.
It was pretty much Twitter's board of directors going, oh, no, you don't.
The funny part is
I'm going to get that $44 billion, motherfucker.
And the funny part is that's not even a, what's the word I'm looking for? Dent in the money of Elon Musk, which is kind of scary. But I just, it's not. He's got so much money.
The kind of money he's been losing lately.
Well.
Let's go into why. I'm getting.
Oh wait, I just wanted to say one thing. There was a contract clause involved in that deal when he signed it that if he tried to back out, he would have had to pay $1 billion anyway. So he would have been out $1 billion regardless. $1 billion to him is nothing either.
Of course, he probably uses that. He probably uses that amount to wipe his ass every morning.
Him, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, who owns Microsoft? Bill Gates.
Bill Gates, yeah.
Not owned, but the CEO or whatever.
CEO, founder.
It's technically publicly traded company. But my point is, these guys have so much money, it doesn't matter. But so Elon decided, you know what? I'm going to make verification become as minuscule as possible.
So what he's done is how it usually worked if any of our viewers are not on social media, you would get a blue check verification to verify that you were an important person, that you were the real deal. There were a lot of impersonators pre them introducing this segment, but what Elon Musk has done is bifurcated it, meaning that anybody who pays $7.99 a month.
Oh, is it $7.99 or $8? I don't even know.
Technically $7.99, but you round it up to $8.
Are you kidding me?
$8 a month, you get a blue check of your very own.
Well, it's not just that. Let me clarify, just so we're not slandering him a 1,000,000%, even though he deserves to be. So you get longer tweets, which is what they're talking about in the future for expansion, that you can write longer tweets.
And your tweets get priority.
More people will see it. More people will see it. Less ads, so you won't get bombarded with all the ad stuff that you see on Twitter. So I get it from the standpoint of it helps if you want to write longer promotional things or you want to avoid the ads, which is a good thing. But now
doing it this way?
No, not doing it this way. But I'm saying now you have what I like to call the blue checkmark brigade.
What do you mean, people that were verified beforehand?
No, I'm saying now you have the blue checkmark brigade, meaning like anyone can be verified. Well, that's the second part of this story. But here's the problem. So Elon says Twitter will permanently ban users that impersonate accounts, which is what should have been done a long time ago.
And what we've done, which is what should have been done a long time ago. But how exactly is he going to do that? Because
he's already done it.
I could, using Twitter Blue, what I could do, I could basically create, I could basically change my Twitter display today, or I could buy one that says "Real Dan Snyder 111."
Well, wait a minute.
Change my profile photo and get
Hold
the
on.
check, and then tweet out that I, Dan Snyder, eat shit for breakfast.
Well, hold on.
That would be impersonating. What are you going to do?
Hold on. You're jumping ahead because there's two parts of this story. So when this all started, because you have accounts, you see it all the time with big names. Pick your A-list celebrity, and you see them being parodied or being destroyed, or people think it's them. That's how the whole verification process started on all social media platforms.
In a way to combat misinformation and fraud, essentially.
And it kind of got worse.
Not misinformation, but fraud.
But it kind of got worse during the first time Trump ran for president. Forget the politics. I'm just bringing up the issue that when Trump ran and there was a lot of misinformation coming out of accounts.
Twitter really didn't do anything about it.
Well, then who did it first? It was Facebook who did their bullshit fact-checking system.
I don't think Twitter started implementing that until mid-2018. The midterms, maybe?
Yeah, pretty much. And now
he was just lying his ass off every other sentence. So
you know what's funny though? So I forget who it is. I'm just making a joke that Biden posted a tweet. Well, it's not him. It's whoever's running his verified political account. put out something about the oil, not fracking. What's the word I'm looking for? Drilling for oil. Thank you. And like they put out that, and the funny part is Twitter fact checked him.
Of course they did.
And forget the politics. I just thought it was funny that they fact checked him.
But again, this is the system that they put in place. But Elon Musk has basically created a weenie or not weenie system. You can tell it's basically he bought his check mark that fake old tough guy.
But here's the one credit I'll give him.
If you can tell me what movie that's from.
I don't know.
Goodfellas.
Oh, Goodfellas. Damn it. You're right. But one thing
but the fact that anybody can get verified and say whatever they want.
Well,
it's just,
here's the one credit I'll give him that most people were not doing the verification. If you click on the verified check mark on each account, it'll tell you whether it was done by Twitter or if it was bought.
Whether it was done by Twitter or was bought. So basically, you have a wiener or not wiener filter.
Hey, be careful with that. Someone might be angry if you use the term wiener.
Yeah, end up with actual wieners on.
Oh no, that's not what I meant. You got to be careful because you get canceled because you're not mentioning both sides when it comes to anatomy. But my point is, and it was funny. So now, since you went there, I'll go to the next part of this, which is Elon Musk's new Twitter verification is already causing chaos across the sports media world. So it was funny though, and I could bring it up because it was a story that we were almost going to put up when it happened. Excuse me. So supposedly Adam Schefter put out a tweet saying that Raiders head coach Josh McDaniels had been fired by the organization. So knowing my background in radio and you in journalism,
what we tend to do, since
we check everything, we triple check everything.
If three different sources are saying the same thing, then it means it's probably legit, and you can put it up.
I err on the side of 4 sometimes, even.
Yeah, because again, that was a lesson learned with everything we went through before. But and I won't get into that. But
not wrong, but it was just bad timing.
Not wrong. It's just bad timing. But that's our process. So that Adam Schefter tweet was out there.
Right. So then I asked Tom, who's our other co-founder and also hosts Empty the Bench with us. If you want to check that out, by the way, Wednesdays at 3 p.m.
Yeah, Wednesday.
But so I said to him, "Where did you get it from?" And he's like, "Oh, Adam Schefter." So then I went online and decided, all right, I'm going to go. And I was also checking to see if anyone else put it out there too. So I see the check mark. And you and I were talking about this before we came on here. We're so mesmerized by the check mark that sometimes we don't look at.
Our eyes are trained to look for the check mark first as a point of verification.
Right. But for me, I don't, and this is my process, I don't do that. So I actually look at the name. And so I started to look, and here's the scary thing about the verification now. They're copying the profile picture.
They're copying the profile picture pretty much exactly.
No, it's not. It's not pretty much exactly. It is exactly.
Yeah, they're basically copy and pasting, but the only way to tell whether it was
is the handle.
So
then I go to look, and I see the tweet that he's talking about, and I read the news source first, and it says breaking news: Josh McDaniels fired by the Raiders, and then I go and I look above. And it says at Adam Schefter, not
Adam Schefter, as in SHAF.
No, his name is spelled correctly.
I know his name is spelled. His name is Adam Schefter, not right.
NOT at the end of it. So, but here's the problem: there were hundreds of thousands of responses and hundreds of retweets, like it came from Adam Schefter because it was verified.
So. But this is demonstrating the pitfalls of what this cockamamie fucking verification scheme is.
No, you know what Elon Musk has caused, and hopefully my repeat is not on here. Oh, it's a good thing I caught that. It's causing something, and it's causing this.
Circus of terrible news. It's beyond the bench, and we're taking you to the circus that is Twitter. The circus no one wants to go to. It's full of elephant shit. But you know what? We're gonna have to go there anyway. So we're kind of stuck. so
yeah, it's a giant circus, and I'm surprised. Adam Schefter and Woj, that's another one we'll get to in a second. But these guys, Adam Schefter is usually pretty on top of it when someone fakes him or like he didn't say anything.
For the most part, yeah, he really didn't say anything. But
usually he'll say, "This is not me. I didn't do this." But now that you have verification everywhere,
he kind of had to look. He probably had to kind of look at it. It's like, did I tweet that? I mean, it's like, did I black out all of a sudden and just tweet that?
Yeah, but here's the other problem. Look at the Twitter handle.
Again, it shouldn't. Yes, you're right. That's going to have to be part of the. It's going to have to be part of the process to find out if someone is legit or not.
No, but I'm saying as a person who retweeted it and liked it and responded to it, like oh my God, he got fucked. Look at the Twitter handle.
Honestly, I'm not really that inclined to blame people because, again, your eyes are trained. We've been trained for years, almost a decade at this point, to look for the blue check mark.
Shit, Twitter's been around that long? Holy cow.
Twitter's been around longer than the verification system, I think, has been.
Oh no, that took like a year or two, a couple of years for them to get it figured out.
It might have been more than a decade that they've had the verification system. But
it took a long time because they didn't know they were going to have a bunch of fakes.
They didn't know that was going to be a problem.
But you're back at square one all over again because now that verification can be bought, you're back to square one like before verification happened.
Exactly. So what are you going to honestly? How are you? First of all, he had there's another part to this because he had the blue check, but he also had a white or a gray transparent tag underneath someone's username.
They got rid of that.
Official.
They got rid of it.
Less than 24 hours after they implemented that system, it was gone.
Right, because he said it didn't work.
Stupid.
Well, did you read the tweet? There's a few tweets that Elon's been tweeting a lot lately because he's trying to get info from people.
This is just a clusterfuck. I don't know. Twitter as a platform. Look, I have a hate, not a love-hate relationship, but a hate-tolerate relationship.
But we need it. That's the problem.
We need it. That's why we're still on. However, it's Twitter wasn't really the Shangri-La before he bought it. In fact, it was pretty terrible anyway. All of social media is. But what he's doing, he's deliberately trashing this platform. He's deliberately trashing this platform because he wants to get back at the people who made fun of him. Oh, you make fun of me for my exploding cars?
Well, it's tough to say that.
Make fun of me for my weird ass politics?
Well, I first of all, I try not to question anyone's politics because everyone's allowed to have their own political beliefs. But
all right, just weird ass opinions.
Fine, that one I'll give you. But first of all, we can't stop him. Elon has fuck you money, as you would say.
But again, it's the impulse of people with fuck you money to.
Nick, we've said this forever.
To fuck everything up. I mean, if you have fuck you money, don't fuck things up. If you have fuck you money, then fuck off. Fuck off and go somewhere fun. Seriously, if you have fuck you money, fuck off somewhere nice.
Wait a minute. That sounds kind of creepy. But anyway, my point was going to be like you said last week. You're going to go build your own Mario Kart island.
Again, build an island and put whatever you want. You know what? Build an island and populate it entirely with man-animal hybrids, like the island of Dr. Moreau. Build your own Jurassic Park for all I
want the Mario Kart island that you said last week.
Yeah. One-to-one recreation of the one-to-one recreation of the Mushroom Kingdom circuit in Super Mario Kart.
That would be so much fun to be able to do Mario Kart in real life.
But again, billionaires decide I'm going to extract every single drop of precious oil I can get. I'm going to profit off misinformation. It's not enough. They literally have to insert themselves into everything good and make it bad.
Yeah, but you know what? The whole thing with Elon, where basically, and the funny part is that he took his Tesla engineers on the board and put them in Twitter after he fired. Wait a minute, did you see he fired like 7,500 people? And then he panicked. Wait a minute.
And then he panicked and went back.
And he's like, oops, I fired too many people. First of all, I don't think I've ever heard someone in all the years we've been alive and whatever say, I fired too many people.
Walk back a mass firing.
Well, he wasn't going to bring back everybody. He wasn't going to bring back everybody. He just said, oops, I fired people that I actually needed.
Turns out I can't actually build these things. Can you some of you guys come back and help me?
And the funny part is that like people were complaining. Apparently there's a law in California that you have to give like a certain amount of leeway
law
for
here in New York too.
What?
It's the same law here in New York. You got to give 90 days notice.
90 days?
It's either 90 days or 30 days. I'm not sure.
I thought it was 30 days, I thought. But
you have to give advance notice.
You can't just fire people.
You can't just fire people.
He tried to just fire people.
He tried to just fire people because again, they couldn't do what the insane things he wanted them to do, so therefore he shoved them out the door.
Unless there's negligence or you do something illegal, obviously those are circumstances.
You can't just fire people like that.
You have to have a reason. You can't just fire somebody for the sake of, well, my company stinks, I'm going to fire 7,500 people.
He did this. We all know why he did this. He did this to own the libs. He did this specifically to stick it to people he don't like. And what kind of way is it to run a business? It's like, what kind of miserable fuck business are you that's your mission statement?
Well,
seriously.
When Elon said, "Oh, well, we're losing a couple $1 million a day."
It's like you get what you pay for.
But you know what? You really think that putting verification behind a paywall was really the smartest thing?
Putting the entire thing behind a paywall. They're considering that.
It's never going to happen. That business will crumble if they do.
Which is why I say he's driving it off a cliff.
No, but I'm saying that will never happen. It will never, ever. Do you remember when Facebook had that rumor that they were going to go behind a paywall too?
I know.
Guess what happened when that news came out? What happened on Facebook?
They backed off right the fuck quick.
Well, no, there was a riot by Facebook users.
Oh, yeah.
Facebook would have died if you put it behind a paywall.
That happens. Well, I think there's going to be the biggest. There was mass migration hundreds of thousands of years ago, and now there's going to be another mass migration to Mastodon.
I'm just saying, social media will die if it ends up behind a paywall.
Again.
The businesses, the content factories, and the businesses will be the only ones on there.
But that's the chief dissonance of it. It's like you put up social media, and and Elon's guilty of. Elon's not the only one that's guilty of this, but he touts Twitter and social media as the premier source of an informational tool that's able to get the pulse of the world in a matter of seconds. It's basically the lifeline to the population of planet Earth.
I wouldn't say that anymore.
Again, the dissonance is you should not have your service be touted as a vital and important communications tool and then fucking charge for it.
Well, right. Here's the thing I was going to say about Twitter. Would you agree that sometimes we're getting our news faster on Twitter, sometimes than we are on TV and radio?
We do. Absolutely, we do.
So then why
look in journalism when I was studying for my bachelor's and my master's degree in journalism, I was always taught they're quicker, but you know what? Our advantage as print and web journalists is we get it right.
I agree with you, and unfortunately now,
which really wasn't as true as they said at the time, but
right. But unfortunately now with buying verification, who do you believe anymore? You can't.
You can't.
Now, here's the problem. So the legitimate people that are verified, and I'll get to some of those in a second because some people are idiots that decided to.
You know what? Yeah. Get to that now.
All right.
That's the perfect segue.
So you have people like Kathy Griffin, who changed not her handle, but changed her nameplate.
Her name and a profile picture to Elon Musk.
What did you think was going to happen?
Again, I understand the sentiment, and it is kind of fun to tweak him, but again, those are but that's basically how things are run nowadays.
Okay, but what did we just talk about impersonating and all that stuff? He's going to ban you. And Kathy Griffin had close to 1.5 million followers. You don't think Elon was going to see that?
Oh, yeah, he definitely saw that.
First of all, I think Kathy Griffin is I don't want to say anything. It'll get me in trouble with the female crowd.
Leave Kathy Griffin alone.
She's a dumbass.
Leave Kathy Griffin alone. She's just a comedian. She's made mistakes, but still, that's not one of them.
No, but she thinks that she's ahead of the curve of everybody else. By the way, her shenanigans on CNN's New Year's Eve show with Anderson Cooper are getting old anyway. Just wait. She'll be back there again. Tweaking Anderson Cooper. And by tweaking, I literally mean tweaking. I mean,
oh, God.
She's a dumbass. Like I can't. She's not even funny anymore.
I mean, what can I tell you?
Well, and then you had the other issue where Johnny Montalbano passed this on to me before we started doing the show. Rich Eisen fell
for a what was it? A fake
Adrian Wojnarowski account. Which, if people who don't follow sport, that he's the biggest NBA insider on ESPN and period, biggest NBA insider, along with Shams Charania and all those others.
It was a fake account saying that the Nets had suspended Kyrie Irving.
No, they released him. Released
Kyrie Irving.
But here's the problem, though.
Rich Eisen fell for it.
And Rich Eisen, who I love, you and I have grown up with Rich Eisen.
Yeah, everybody loves Rich Eisen.
And worked did the Big Show, I think, with Keith Olbermann and
Sports Center.
Sports Center, right?
He was the voice of Sports Center for a generation.
But here's the problem, Rich. I love you. You're great. But look at the handle. It's not even an attempt to be a fake Woj account by the handle. And that's the problem. When your nameplate says who you are, that's what they look at. They don't look at the handle. And the weird part is a lot of people were falling for it.
Ladies and gentlemen, these are the pitfalls of the moment that we find ourselves in.
Oh wait, the tweet's gone.
Of course.
What that tells me is the account must have been
nuked.
And that's the problem. As soon as you have a viral tweet as a fake verified account, what's going to happen to you? See ya, gone. You can enjoy it. What is that? Your 5 seconds of fame? They used to call it.
Well, in this case, it's kind of like a half hour of fame, but still.
But when Rich Eisen falls for it, you really,
you really struck a nerve.
And that's the problem. Like you said earlier, and we'll say it again for the 10 millionth time. We look at the verified check mark, not the person.
Look at the username. Look at the username.
Now you have to look 10 times as close now when you're looking at Twitter.
Moving on, because this is getting me nauseous again.
Well, you technically were kind of nauseous to begin with.
And it wasn't just the show doing that.
and you know what? We'll stick in that realm. I was going to save this for later, but we'll do it now. Facebook owner Meta to lay off 11,000 employees as the tech sector continues to feel pain. Now, I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised at this at all, because it really does seem like Facebook is kind of going through an identity crisis right now.
No, identity crisis, or they just want to do what's it called, the Oculus or whatever.
augmented reality, the metaverse.
Well, no, Mark is having too much fun saying, I jumped into a universe on an island and I'm a robot and this and that.
I have an avatar that has feet.
And I'm like, okay. Yeah, and your point?
I jumped into a digital world of my own making. Yeah, so did Captain N. Get over it.
Actually, I made this joke earlier to Nick, not thinking about it. Meta actually owns Instagram, so technically it is a trifecta.
Yes, yeah, there you go. But this is probably due to them investing billions in the metaverse, and most people saying, "What the fuck is that?"
So major layoffs are hitting Facebook and Instagram owner Meta Platforms Incorporated. The company says it will lay off 11,000 employees, or about 13% of its global workforce. Think about that. 13%.
When you waste upwards of $1 billion on tech that nobody wants,
it's more than that.
Tech that more than $1 billion?
Yes.
When you waste more than $1 billion on tech that nobody wants, nobody can find a use for, and everybody's confused by, then what the fuck? You know what this seems like to me? And bonus points if you can remember this. Remember Second Life?
Second Life? No.
Second Life was it was basically like Sims, but it was a virtual marketplace where you had an avatar and you would go into all these digitally constructed,
oh god,
almost like town squares, where they thought that people would actually be able to do business in it.
Oh jeez.
Back when I was in undergrad, they were thinking that Second Life was hot shit, that it was going to be the wave of the future.
Oops.
And that's probably the reason why you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, is because it didn't.
Well, no, I've heard of augmented realities and all that stuff.
You have not heard of Second Life, though. It was basically The Sims, but if you actually could do real life business in The Sims. Which
playing Sims was kind of fun, but like
it's a game.
It's a game, right? But
it's just a game. I don't want to have to log on to Second Life to go to the bank to get money. I'm going to actually physically go to the bank.
Well, yes, you're talking about augmented reality, but yes,
because it's fucking stupid.
And talk about the radio business for a second. iHeartMedia was trying to get into that business too, creating augmented reality. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
You do realize, guys, that you listen with your ears and not your eyes, right?
Well, everything is becoming more digitally inclined though now. But
you listen to the radio with your ears.
No, but I'm saying everything is becoming more video inclined though now. So I agree with you, by the way. But so Mark, Mr. Zuckerberg, the asshole, in my opinion, came out and said, today, this is a quote from whenever this article came out. Today, I'm sharing some of the most difficult changes we've made in Meta's history. I've decided to reduce the size of our team about 13%, letting 11,000 of our talented employees go. Now, I have a problem with that statement, okay? If they're so talented, why are you letting them go?
Because he really doesn't give a shit. I would imagine. Yeah, you're talented, but you know what?
Wait, listen to the second part of this statement because it's hilarious. We are also taking a number of additional steps to become a leaner and more efficient company by cutting discretionary spending. Excuse me? You're telling me that augmented reality is not part of discretionary spending?
So it's basically, yeah, we have to tighten our budget because you know what? Investing in the equivalent of a Nigerian prince scam wasn't really a good way to go, was it?
No, but discretion. He has the balls to say that they're going to pause the discretionary spending when augmented reality is discretionary spending.
You're the one who did the discretionary spending, and no one else believed in it, but you.
He's gonna say that to all media platforms. He's gonna say that to all news sources that this is not discretionary spending.
Hilarious, isn't it?
And I feel bad because I have some friends that work at Facebook, so I hope they don't lose their jobs. But come on, like. And he goes on to say that he wants to, quote, take accountability for the shift. And he went on to explain that the rationale for the cuts citing a misreading of COVID-induced digital trends. Oh, good. So now we're blaming COVID.
I'm sure that had something to do with it, but not enough not as much as you would think.
It also says, I can't even pronounce the word, macroeconomic concerns and Apple's move to cut off user data from third parties. Oh, wait, so you can't steal people's data anymore, Mark? Is that what you're saying?
I think that's what he's saying.
You do know there were massive lawsuits over that with Facebook, right?
Yeah, I did. I did know.
And by the way, hey, Mark, tell your Facebook cronies to stop trying to steal and sell my information from social media. Seriously. You notice that, right? Like, you see all the ads that come up and you're like, wait a minute, I was just on that website. Stop stalking me.
Oh, God.
No, haven't you ever been on Facebook and you're like, how do they know that I was on that website?
Yeah, because because again, they're tracking you.
I find it funny. It's really, let's see, in a securities filing Wednesday, the company said that the 2022 expense outlook of $85 billion to $87 billion remains unchanged and includes the costs associated with restructuring. It added that the company continues to, quote, refine our 2023 expense budget and now expect the 2023 total expenses to be in the range of 94 to 100 billion. But you're taking it out on the employees. Good job, Mark. Good job. Bravo. But you're firing.
I don't even want to applaud for him.
No, I'm not applauding for him. I'm basically making him a giant joke.
I don't even want to do the fake applause because it's just so stupid. Oh, God. Moving on.
But think about this. Twitter, Facebook, and even Snapchat were cutting employees. First of all, does anyone give a fuck about Snapchat anymore? I was never on Snapchat. I don't even know.
No, I don't think so.
Snapchat was basically people to put weird and naughty photos on there. That was it.
A conduit for penis photos, and no one wants that.
Well, and also the opposite, too. Women would put photos on there, too.
Yeah. But, yeah, moving on.
All right. From that to a little bit of unfortunate news, because like I said, this show seems to track some of these stories, and we don't mean it to be. But if you grew up in the 90s, you know who this next person was. Aaron Carter was in the process of selling his home to start a new chapter with his family a week before he died. Unfortunately, he passed away.
Now he had a wife and a child. So
young child, yes.
And that's really the tragedy of it. So I mean,
he had a lot of problems.
Again, he had a lot of addiction issues. He had a lot of.
He unfortunately was part of the. I don't know how to say. He was very successful in the 90s.
Very successful at a very young age, and he was kind of eaten. He was kind of swallowed and spit back, and shat back out by the music industry.
Well, and he was on a lot of TV shows with Nickelodeon.
Yeah. I mean, the guy's first album was when he was 9.
And I think, if I remember correctly, I Want Candy was like the biggest craze of the 90s.
Oh, I remember. I remember.
Do you remember the song that he did with Shaq?
No, I don't remember that one.
Oh man, that was a craze. I'm looking it up right now, but there was a song that he did. That's How I Beat Shaq was the name of the song, and he was in the music video, so that even probably blew it up even more.
So, specifically, again, it's we don't know the cause of his death yet.
Well, we know where he was. Unfortunately,
he was found
in a bathtub.
In a bathtub. So, again, it really does seem like he's a guy whose demons got the best of him in the end.
But here's the problem. He was really, really, really young when he was successful. And by the time he was 34 when he passed away. I mean, there was a lot of pressure when his time came and went.
Yeah, and to be that young and not know how to handle it, it fucks you up in a lot of different ways.
Now, let's remember something. His brother, Nick Carter, one of the most successful boy bands of all time, the Backstreet Boys. He was kind of in the shadow for a long time.
Yeah, he was, and he kind of struggled with that.
And apparently Nick, who they did not have the best of relationships for many years.
No, they did not.
Because Aaron Carter had a lot of unfortunate issues, whether it was addiction or I think at one point he was doing boxing or porn at one point. But he had a lot of mental health issues, a lot. But big time in the 90s, very successful music.
However, I mean, I feel like there are so many people who kind of are quick to say "I told you so" once these things happen, and I don't know if I'm comfortable with that.
Oh, you know what? I first of all, I'd say shut the fuck up. Anyone who says "I told you so," that's not nice. It's you know what? There's certain people over the years. He's one I thought of. Macaulay Culkin was another one.
Macaulay Culkin as well. I mean, he's somehow he's been able to kind of get out of it. I think
it seems like he kind of rejuvenated himself for the most part. Now he had a drug issue for a long time, though. Like he had to go to rehab. There was a lot of issues with Macaulay Culkin, but Aaron Carter, I think, was having a life crisis after his success went away.
I would say he's kind of had. Yeah, he did kind of have a little bit of a crisis.
Because, like it says here, he was trying to start a new chapter in his life.
He was trying to find a way to be better, to better himself, and there's no shame in that. There's no shame in that at all. I mean, whatever the man's flaws, it's clear that he was pretty, he was hurting.
And apparently, like in the article, it says there was a quote. It says, "Selling my second home, real estate has been super good to me. Ready for a new chapter in my third home, which I plan on staying to make a beautiful life for my family." This was on October 29th.
It just sucks.
This year has been super tough, but I've learned so much. Thanks for the support. I'm going to say this because most people don't realize it. Mental health is not the easiest thing to deal with.
It's absolutely not the easiest thing to compound that with addiction. Well, one is
one has to do with the other.
Yeah, one kind of leads to the other.
They coincide. I'll say that.
Yeah, disorder. Yeah. They tend to coincide, but
people need to.
I know I keep using the word shame a lot, but it is a shame.
I mean, there are certain instances where people do it to themselves. I can't say that here because, again, I don't know how he passed away. So
it's a sickness, Nick.
No, I'm agreeing with you, but I'm saying until we know how he actually died, you can't really say anything. Like
can't really pass judgment either.
I think they said there was a coroner who was in the process of trying to figure out what happened.
We'll find out within a couple weeks' time what actually occurred there.
Now, if he was still, because he was in and out of rehabs for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
If he relapsed and ended up, first of all, I don't know how you drown in a bathtub because that was the report. Is that even possible? I don't know.
Yeah, it is. I don't know how, but it is.
But if he relapsed and that's how he died, unfortunately, that's kind of the issue.
It is the issue.
If that's what happened. If it was a natural cause thing, then I can't judge him for it. But the whole thing, like, we go back to when Bob Saget passed away. And that seemed like more of a natural cause issue, if anything. But we don't know. We don't know.
He was older, and it was so sudden. So it was like...
It is kind of weird timing, though, that it happened in a hotel room, of all places, after a comedy show, though. But
yeah, so...
Who knows?
Immediately, your mind goes to some pretty, your mind goes places. But again, passing judgment when we don't have the full story. I mean,
that story. I think they kept that one private completely, though, so we don't actually know. Yeah. And again, who knows? You might not know the whole Aaron Carter situation.
Yeah, exactly.
But it is But it is kind of weird, though, that it was in a bathtub. That's kind of weird.
We'll get the full report in a couple of weeks, but we'll know. But
Oh, I
as
didn't
of
even
right
see
now,
this. So it said in 2019, an episode of The Doctors, Aaron Carter revealed that he had been diagnosed and was taking medications for dissociative identity disorder.
DID, yeah.
Do you know what that is? I don't
Yeah.
know. What is it?
It is what people used to call schizophrenia.
Oh, it says it here. It says
Multiple personality.
so it says DID, schizophrenia, and acute anxiety.
Again, and
So
being famous at that young age really doesn't help.
well, I don't think it has to do with the famous part. It has to do with, oh my God, I'm 34. My time came and went. What do I do now?
That's part of it because he was so. I don't want to say that because I think that's kind of that in a way that's kind of blaming him because it's like
No, I'm not
oh,
blaming him.
You were up here, now you're down there, and you're mad.
No. Let me clarify. It's not that I'm blaming him. It's that what do I do now? Because my time kind of went. My popularity point came and went.
I mean,
by the way, he had a huge following on social media. That wasn't the issue. I think he was just dealing with a lot of shit.
Again, he dealt with a lot of shit, and his demons just won in the end.
And also, in the 90s, when the drugs were really a thing and alcohol was a thing, I guarantee he was exposed to a lot of that way before legal age.
Way before he knew what to do. So
I mean, I'll give you.
He knew how to process what was going on.
I'll give you another example. I know we're spending a lot of time on this, but Jeanette McCurdy, when we covered that whole issue, where now that was a different issue because of her mother being a real dickweed, as you would say.
Being in an abusive household definitely contributed to that.
But that led her to being exposed to drugs and alcohol and not eating or overeating. And I'm not blaming her. Let me clarify that again. But when people are exposed to these situations as a celebrity of young age, they don't know how to interpret the situations. And then what happens is they just say, I don't have to worry about that. And then when they grow up, what happens? It all manifests.
It just comes back for you.
Like I said, being a celebrity is tough. When people say, "Oh, I want to be famous. I want to be viral."
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Now we do content.
When you say you want to be rich and famous, you would rather believe me. You'd rather be rich and not famous.
I was just about to say, I'd rather have money than be viral, famous. That's why, like with the lottery, like for the most part, you can be private because now you can create an LLC and hide who you are.
Yeah,
but we're in content. We want to grow. We want to be big, but we don't want to be famous, if that's the best way to put it.
It depends on, famous for creating the best damn podcast ever.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
That's fine. It's just you don't want to be.
I don't want to be Joe Rogan, if that's what you're asking me.
You don't want to be making headlines for the wrong reason.
I don't want, like I said, I don't want to be Joe Rogan, if that's what you're referring to. But
yeah.
But all right, let's move on. And let's talk about a uniquely interesting story about food. So the CDC says do not eat meat or cheese from any deli counter unless it's steaming hot. Now, I remember as a kid when we would just open up the plastics that had all the deli, like the cheese, all that stuff, and we didn't think really of it for another second, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now,
God knows I didn't.
Now we have to be concerned about deli meat, according to the CDC.
Well, the reason why this is, and context is, like always, context is necessary. So this is due to an outbreak of listeria in multiple places being linked to spoiled deli, deli products.
Right.
So that being the case, the CDC has decided to So looking at the CDC website right now, we get 16 illnesses, 13 hospitalizations, 1 death within 6 states.
By the way, including New York, where we are.
So we need to. So please be careful about what you. If you are in those states, please visit the CDC website and make sure you're not exposed. And if you have something that you're not sure of, please make sure you throw it out as soon as possible.
So the name of I guess they're calling it a disease, is called listeria.
Listeria, which is it's a common bacteria known to cause food poisoning. So,
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
yeah.
But so here's where the common groups of people they're talking about. So people who are pregnant, people who are 65 or older, or have a weakened immune system, or at high
Yeah.
risk for becoming ill. So it sounds like COVID, almost in a sense.
It does, because the first thing you do is you want to protect the most vulnerable. Yeah, because again, the immune system is kind of the key to everything.
So it says, quote, and this is from the CDC: if you are in any of these groups, do not eat meat or cheese from any deli counter unless it is reheated or internal temperature of 165 degrees Fahrenheit or until steaming hot.
Now, me being me, I usually don't eat cold cuts. So,
It's rare for me. It's rare.
I mean, I would like something to be hot before I would like, if I'm going to eat a sandwich, I would like it to at least be hot. So,
I like it. Sometimes I'll eat American cheese out of the thing, though. But I don't think that,
it depends.
but no, I like hot sandwiches too. Like, but God, like all the weird things you have to worry about. Now you got to worry about deli counters. You know what they do at deli counters, right? They allow you to try whatever
Yeah.
Can't do that anymore now.
Which is just it was an unsanitary practice before then.
Well, they all wear gloves and stuff, but
They all wear gloves, but still, the other people in line that are taking things aren't wearing gloves, sneezing everywhere.
no. But I'm saying a lot of times, like when they, depending on on the
scratching their balls and then grabbing the ham.
Of course, you would go there.
Grabbing the ham and then grabbing the ham.
Of course, you would go there. You sick, perverted piece of shit. But no, but I'm talking about the meats where they have to slice them thin, like they would hand you a piece.
Yeah.
You can't do that anymore now.
Honestly, it's for the best. It's for the best.
I agree with you.
Me being a germaphobe, me being the germaphobe and the hypochondriac because again, one of the things about anxiety is it's pretty much health anxiety. So
wait,
it's not that one thing is wrong with me. It's just that the worst thing is wrong with me at all times.
Let me ask you, on a scale from 1 to Howie Mandel, where are you?
I used to be at around a 7. Now I'm somewhere around like 4 or 5.
So you're not Howie Mandel. Okay.
No, I'm not Howie Mandel, but there was a time when I was in my early teens when I would wash my hands so often that my hands would bleed.
Oh God, that's not good.
That's not good. So,
but
again, this is what anxiety does to does to people.
Me, I get it. But do you remember?
I can hardly go on WebMD anymore because I've been nauseous the past couple of days.
What do they call that? There's a disease for that where someone thinks they're always sick. What do they call that again?
Hypochondria.
Oh, is it hypochondria where they constantly think they're sick with something?
Yeah, hypochondria.
Is that you?
Oh, that's always been me.
But I was going to say it was kind of weird during the pandemic watching Howie Mandel exist.
Honestly, it's like, oh yeah, I told you, motherfuckers, it wasn't safe. So therefore,
no. But I'm saying, can you imagine him like trying to exist, a high level germaphobe during COVID?
I mean, yeah, I felt bad for him because
he probably didn't leave the house for months.
But it's where you literally can't feel safe, and that's terrible.
No, I understand, but I think he was a little extreme.
I think a lot of it is function of his ADD. But
no, I understand, but like he wouldn't shake hands to begin with. Now he had to deal with the whole COVID pandemic.
Again, I understand the sentiment. Believe me, I get it.
No, but I'm saying he probably like hid away for months or a year. Like you couldn't even find him, probably.
God.
But all right, let's move on. And this is what I found funny. This next story. Emily Ratajkowski says she's checking in on the stepfather applications in my DMs as she moves on from her divorce. Now,
she was married and had a child, and her husband, I think, was an older gentleman, if I'm not mistaken.
But this is kind of dangerous because when you're asking social media,
it's the Streisand effect. It's like you're trying to tell people to avoid it. Now all of a sudden you're drawing more attention to it.
no, but
So if there weren't penises in your DMs before, there are now.
and we're not insulting her. We're trying to point out that
don't be going through your DMs looking for somebody to be looking for a genuine human connection. I mean, looking for wife, girlfriend, husband, whatever material.
So let's get something straight. She's a TikTok /model. So
she is a model /actress.
Actress.
I like her in Gone Girl. What could I do? What could I say?
So the model, 31 years old, who filed for divorce from her husband of 4 years, Sebastian Bear McClurd, I don't even know who that is, took to TikTok to post a video of herself dancing on the street. Oh, I guess that's how that works. I guess you get divorced, go dance on TikTok.
Yeah, go dance.
So I don't know why they do it. Like dressed in a white full-length turtleneck dress and black boots, the My Body author and mom to a 19-month-old turned around and, oh God, shook her butt in front of the camera while exhaling smoke.
I mean, if you're gonna give them a show, give them a show. But I mean, that is not, of course, to downplay the loads and loads of sexism and like creepy behavior that she's had to. I mean, think about how many creepazoids this woman encounters.
Wait, but it says that she wrote on the video, quote, "Me coming out of a sad girl day to check in on the stepfather applications in my DMs. That's creepy."
I think that's kind of making light of the actual creepazoids who do that, because I guarantee you the number is more than a fuck ton. Let's see.
So she's quoted as saying, "I love men. I think men are the coolest, but you don't really need them to live." She goes on to say, "My mom said to me, 'You know what, sweetheart? One day you should settle down and marry a rich man.' And I said, 'Mom, I am a rich man.'"
Well, like in a Fiddler on the Roof situation, if I were a rich man.
Yes, that's what I was thinking too. Wow, we were thinking the same thing. Whoa. You know what, though? I get it, but at the same time, I have to give her the creepazoid because you can't go into your DMs expecting.
She probably gets creeped on the regular, so that
kind of. But wait a minute. Let me ask you something. Would that be what do they call it when someone's looking for a rich person to be in a relationship?
Gold digger?
No, but
she's not a gold digger.
Sugar mama is what they call it.
Nah, I don't think it's that either, because think about how many gross people just end up just showing the shriveled penises to her. It's like,
oh God, no.
Nobody wants that, you fucking creep. Nobody asked for that. I mean, seriously, you probably get desensitized to it after a while.
But why would you put that out there saying I'm looking for stepfather applications? You're asking for it.
Honestly, I think she wasn't asking for it. I think she was just kind of making light of the creepy motherfuckers who are in her DMs anyway.
I don't know. I just feel like you're kind of you have to accept part of the blame when you write something like that.
Honestly, I'm not inclined to blame her, because it's like,
no, I didn't say completely blame her. I said
partially or completely. I mean, I don't blame her at all.
But why would you write, "I'm looking for stepfather applications" in the DMs?
Yeah, I mean, but it's like, come on.
After you just got divorced?
That's a good point. I mean, she's making light of a situation, but it's like,
I feel bad for the 19.
But these creeps please don't give these creeps a green light.
I mean, the kid is 19 months. Was that a month? A year and 3/4, almost 2 years old. I mean, like
year and a half.
What? Year and a half. Okay, that's bad.
Honest to God, it's just.
See, this is what Twitter and TikTok and social media does to celebrities. I'm going to sound like an old. I need to go out on the front lawn and start yelling at the kids riding by the grass. But social media causes weird things for celebrities sometimes.
I just wanted to make sure you know that you actually do have a pinochle game at 5. So, and after that, you have bingo, and then now then it's time to take your medication.
And then I got to go watch my stories on TV.
We're doing that together.
All right, let's move on. Two more stories here. We don't do sports here, but this is more from a pop culture angle, not the sports part of it. So, excuse me. Longtime Commanders fan Kevin Durant wants to join new ownership group. Now, this is off the basis that Jeff Bezos and Jay-Z want to basically own the team. And Kevin Durant said, you know what? I'm an athlete. I want to own part of a team.
Because current owner and jerk extraordinaire, and that's putting it lightly, Dan Snyder is thinking about selling the team amidst multiple investigations into his workplace behavior, both by the NFL itself and by the United States fucking government.
So he hired Bank of America to help sell the team, and then he's being investigated for financial improprieties.
He's being investigated for financial and workplace impropriety. So
it's amazing how that news comes out after he hires Bank of America, isn't it?
It is kind of funny, isn't it? Because who else would underwrite that walking disaster?
I mean, oops! Oh wait, I'm selling my team.
It's the same kind of cognitive dissonance that I think allowed Credit Suisse to underwrite Donald Trump for all those years. It's like he's going to stiff you. Why are you paying him?
Oh
Why
God!
are you giving him the money?
Nick, don't say Donald Trump and stiff. Please.
Oh God!
Please, no one needs that image. Please.
I waltzed right into that one, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
But
anyone who says Donald Trump and stiff, you deserve to walk off a cliff.
Honestly, even with all the shit going on with the Nets, I mean, resident Net fan on this podcast. So even with all the shit going on the Nets right now, I mean, first of all, I didn't know that Kevin Durant was from Washington, so of course he'd be a Commanders fan. But I would imagine that every football fan in the Metro DC area and parts of Virginia and Maryland have, I would imagine, a small bottle of champagne in their houses. And the day that Dan Snyder sells the team, you're going to be deafened by the sound of corks popping.
I feel like
they're going to celebrate like they just won the fucking Super Bowl.
I'm going to tell you right now, and I'm sure you and I are thinking the same thing already. There's going to be some kind of grand video we're going to come up with for the whole network on Dan Snyder.
Honestly, this is going to end up being like one of those Ken Burns kind of documentaries that we end up doing.
No, but I'm saying you
just can't get into it all in one. Yeah.
No, but the two of us, I know right off the bat, are going to come up with something of epic proportions.
Shit, we could spend another 90 minutes just talking about how fucked up the Commanders are.
No, but I'm saying like when we did the whole thing on the Atlanta All-Star game, the NBA Cares.
Yeah, we could do that too.
I think you and I, and even Tom, and I'm sure Johnny and Hank would do our other game on our network also.
All right. I got a Band-Aid. I got an empty thing of wet ones. I got a sleeve of crackers here. How much does that get me? Can I buy the Commanders with that?
No, but I'm saying we're going to come up with some kind of insane video that won't get us copyright struck. Because that video got us partially copyright struck, and I was not happy about it.
First of all, we don't need the band hammer coming down on us. Don't do that.
Well, that was before I realized YouTube Creator Studio actually has music that you're allowed to legally use on YouTube, and now we've been doing that ever since.
Oh, God.
But, all right, one more story. We're actually doing good on time this week. And this one I say for last because I know it just makes Nick laugh, and it makes me laugh, too. AMC to create Zoom rooms in theaters. Yes, you're seeing that correctly. In theaters.
So the first thought that jumps out at you when you look at this story is, who the fuck is this for? Who would want to do this? Because you go to AMC, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this is not like a watch. You can use Zoom to have like a watch party when you go to the theater to see everybody Okay, they pay a ticket, then they can like patch into your
No.
feed and watch what you're watching.
They're talking about conference rooms, like for meetings.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen. There are certain things that you may or may not know about going to the movies. If you're gonna, maybe you've never gone, maybe you're a recluse.
I haven't been to the movies in like 4 years.
Yeah, it's been a while for me too.
Probably more than that, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it.
But ladies and gentlemen, the most appealing part of going to a movie is watching the fucking movie, not the movie theater.
Well, or eating the
Go
snack.
to a movie theater, the room itself is specifically built for a purpose. And that purpose is to look at the giant screen in the back of the fucking room. If you're not doing that, then what else is the point?
Or eating the snacks, because movie theater snacks are good.
But you're not going to be looking around. What are you going to see? Popcorn on the floor, people fucking in the seats, or like stains everywhere?
Nick, don't give people that idea. They might do it now.
Oh, they're already doing it. It's just,
we're not enticing that behavior. Let me throw that out there first.
Why would you want to create Zoom rooms in the theater? Because first of all, the
conference meetings they're calling it, but yes, Zoom
conference meeting.
Why would
you want to go to an AMC to host a fucking business meeting?
Why would you just do it at home and, like you would say, just not wear pants?
Yeah, you could not wear pants. I may or may not be wearing pants right now. So that's the fun of it. That's
a scary thought, but
that's where the mystery comes in.
It's all about the mystery.
Actually, that could be the subject of the next 5 more minutes, Mom, because we could. Are any of the ETB hosts actually wearing pants at any one time when they're hosting a show?
By the way, good call right there. 5 more minutes, Mom. Episode 0 actually dropped already before this episode. So hopefully you go check that out again. That dropped today. So yes, go check it out again if you didn't see it. It's going to be a good show. If you like TV theory, then exploring all different realms of TV theory.
So you know what? Instead of using your computer to patch into a fucking movie theater,
go watch them instead.
Go watch that instead.
It's going to be a really good show. I met them through they're friends of Fruity Cereal. So
yeah, it's gonna be those guys are fantastic. They're fantastic. The fantastic hosts.
They're great people. Yeah,
and it's just it's a boon. It's a boon for us. We're glad to have them on board. And
you would actually be a great guest because like they elongate theories. Like they really explore theories of TV and we're talking about kids media, not the adult BS. Like so, it would actually be more fun.
Yeah.
Like they're talking about Blue's Clues and Steve might be one of them.
Yeah, that was. I think that's the pilot episode, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. I have to go check that back out again because I'm all over the place. But Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood was another one.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's just, you know what? There's a lot of content, and you know what? Do that instead of doing this. I mean,
let's go through the rest of this story though, because there's some funny things in this story, and this is going to be our final story, so we'll try to get through this as quick as possible. So, I didn't realize this. AMC Theaters is partnering with Zoom, so they suckered Zoom into a partnership deal.
Honestly, because people are returning to. I mean, people should not be returning to. There should be, remote gigs should probably be the way of the future because, like I said, COVID is not done with us.
Wait a minute. So does that mean they're going to have to hire people just like for the Zoom conference meetings at the AMC theaters?
Does that mean you can get a large popcorn, a soda, and some milk duds with every meeting? every fifth meeting, you get a free box of Mike and Ike's.
Wait, you cut out there. Say that again.
Every fifth meeting, you get a free box of Mike and Ike's.
Hey, that would be a great deal if I could just get you know what they should do? Like they do at parties or like for business, like they set up the whole catered table. If you're going to go there, they should cater you a bunch of candy and popcorn.
I figured out a long time ago. You want to get somebody to show up for an event, a function,
food,
a meeting, anything. Feed them.
It's true.
Feed them, and they will go. Whatever it is, it could be It could pretty much be an AA meeting or a meeting about sexual dysfunction. They'll show up.
Well, let's not go that far because be careful because AA could be a food problem.
No, AA is Alcoholics Anonymous.
No, but I meant like addiction meetings could also be about food. So just,
yeah,
so,
you're right. Yeah,
so-
you're right. You're right.
But any type of business meeting, you want people to show up, give them free food.
Could be a biker rally. They'll show up for that.
Just give them free food.
Yep.
But it's just funny. So I'm reading here. It says here that the two companies plan to launch the rooms in oh my God, they haven't done it yet? To launch the rooms in 17 of AMC's major U.S. markets in 2023.
So does that mean that Nicole Kidman shows up in one out of every 200 meetings?
What do you mean?
You know the clip she did for AMC theaters where she.
Oh my God, that'd be hilarious.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes, I do kind of now. Yeah, a little bit. But it says at what
the promo reel she did.
Yes.
For AMC theaters.
Yeah. But it says at launch, companies can. Oh God, here we go. So it's laid out. At launch, companies can book a 3-hour block of time at several theaters simultaneously in order to hold virtual events across multiple markets. AMC and Zoom will provide the equipment and will offer food and beverage services, a concierge, and a movie viewing for an extra cost.
Oh, God. I mean, it could be, you know what? Despite all the shit talking I've done, it could be useful. There's going to at least be some people who are going to like that. So,
but wait a minute. So it says this is the latest non-traditional move made by AMC. And now I remember talking about this partially as it seeks to emerge from the pandemic and chip away from its high debt. Other moves have included buying a 22% stake in a gold mine, pushing for its popcorn to be sold in retail stores. Movie theater popcorn is really good.
Movie theater popcorn is really good, but
I don't know how they do it. Like, I've had other brands of popcorn. It's not the same.
Because you know what it is? It's the flavor call.
Well, I don't like butter in popcorn, though.
That's not actual butter, though. You know what that is, right?
It's
flavor call.
Right. It's unnatural flavor.
No, it's flavor. That's what it's called. It's flavor call.
It's fake butter. Yes.
Yeah, that's why it tastes the way it does.
I don't like any butter at all in my popcorn, whether it's real or fake or anything. I don't like it. I like eating popcorn plain.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like adding butter to popcorn. It's disgusting to me a little bit. You didn't think that would ever come out of my mouth, did you? Are you okay? Did I break you?
No, it's just it took me a couple of seconds to recover from that. It's like, what you like your popcorn to taste like nothing?
I just like popcorn. I don't like. You know what my friend would always buy at the movie theater? Those things that they sell on the side that you can pour over the popcorn.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? The garlic or
yeah,
it was
flavor shakers.
No, but the worst part is he would get the fake butter and then put that stuff on top of it. That's a heart attack.
Okay, that's a bit much.
That's a heart attack waiting to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
I don't know. I like having and this is going to sound weird. Now we're talking about movie theater food. I like the Bunch of Crunch, the crunch thing.
And you can never find Bunch of Crunch anywhere else.
No, it's only the movie theater. And you get so much in that rectangular. I don't know how they fit that much into that container.
Because the container's like this big.
Actually, you know what they don't? And now I feel like an old hag because we're having a conversation about movie theater food. Do you remember the rectangular thing that you could buy and it would have the popcorn, the soda, and the candy, the deal that they would have in the movie theater?
Yeah.
I think they stopped doing that.
Yeah, the combo tray.
Yeah, I think they stopped doing it. Because they were losing money, I think.
Which is stupid because, the combos cost less than each of those individual items on their own.
You realize, and most people don't know this, do you know what movie theaters make money off of?
Concessions.
all the ticket revenue.
All the ticket revenues go back to the studio.
Right. Most people think, oh, well, the exorbitant ticket prices are because they take a cut. No, they don't.
No, they don't. No, that's pretty much the movie studios deciding how much they want to charge.
They beg. The movie theaters beg and pray that you buy a popcorn or a candy. Because, like, we jokingly, I went in with a group of friends, and for the longest time, we just said, oh, we're just going to go to dinner after we see the movie.
Yep. Though, yeah, that's something I would still like to keep. I used to do that a lot. I still would like to do that.
The movie theaters hate you when you do that because they don't make any money off you that day.
They want you to eat there.
Why do you think they have to cheapen a lot of that stuff? Because don't get me wrong, the candy and the stuff is expensive in a movie theater.
Yeah, because I mean, you can't really get the candy anywhere else. But I mean,
but if you're going $4 or $5, like
if you go in there to eat like food, it's like you get what you pay for.
Which theater was it where they started serving you like meals to the seats?
AMC.
Oh, was that AMC?
AMC.
My friend and I.
There's an AMC that's in that actually pretty close to me that actually has table service food.
That's what I'm talking about. The service to the seats, or you order it and then they bring it to you based on your ticket. And I remember
I'm talking hamburger. I'm talking cheeseburgers, hot dogs, quesadillas,
steak.
Tacos.
I saw steak. I was like, okay, that's a little much.
Hey, that's a little much.
No, but like these were fancy meals they were showing. And I was
it wasn't just something that started with the Alamo Draft House.
No, this was like real food, like that you would order out at a restaurant.
I mean, how good could it be when it came from a movie theater?
No, they had chefs like this. Like they had chef. Like the one I went to had like a chef. I was like confused. I was like, I'm not ordering this food. By the way, they were charged like $40-$50 for some of this food. I was like, what the fuck? I said, you're charging me out the ass for a movie theater ticket. You think I'm going to spend $40 or $50 on a dinner meal? That's how they make their money. Forget it. Then you have a soda, and then you have all this other shit, and then
it adds up.
By the way, the movie theater smelled really good that day, though, for a change.
What does it usually smell like? Pee?
No. That was a joke from Who's Line? Peeing in the popcorn. By the way, speaking of that, and I know we're running over, but did you hear that Who's Line is only doing one more season on CW?
Yeah, I heard that.
They're ending the show. I was like, no!
They've been gone once before, so how is it really different?
By the way, the last season would be 20 official seasons.
I mean, it's not a bad note to go out on.
I hope they bring Drew Carey back, at least like to be a fourth chair. They have to. That show can't go off the air without Drew Carey being back on it. I mean, he's having too much fun right now hosting The Price is Right. But by the way, he's been doing that for he's been doing that for like 10 or 11 seasons.
Yeah, I do.
That's crazy in itself, right?
Yeah, it is.
I think he stopped doing comedy, really. Like, he's like, oh, I'm making enough money.
Because The Price is Right pretty much takes up most of his time.
No, but he's like, oh, I make enough money. And I tape these enough in advance where I don't have to show up every single day.
Yeah, pretty much.
But, yeah, but that'll about do it for episode 53 of Beyond the Bench. Make sure you go check us out on social media. I'll drop them quickly. Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram for Beyond the Bench. For Empty the Bench Podcast Network, it's this same handle at ETB Network, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. A lot to come in the coming months. We're almost at the end of the year. Isn't that scary?
We are almost at the end of the year, and we've got a lot to go over. We've actually got some interesting stuff planned for you for the final couple of weeks of the year. But
actually, we'll let them know a little bit. You and I were already discussing what the best ofs were going to be at the end of the year.
So we are going. So like we do with Empty the Bench every year, we are going to compile something of a best of.
Some of the best stories.
The biggest moments from 2022 and how we reacted to it.
Now, it's kind of ironic for this show, best moments, because some of them are...
Yeah, because it's usually some of them are pretty much the worst. So
the first half essentially will be a lot of the unfortunate moments that happened in the first half of 2022.
Everything that was important and worth talking about in 2022, that's what's going to consist of that's what our philosophy is in picking the best of.
Right, so that'll be the first. The second half will be more of the fun stuff because that's when a lot of the fun stuff happened, including what we partially talked about today with Elon Musk.
There'll be plenty of him. He's well represented in our best of. So
make sure you like and you subscribe to the Empty the Bench Podcast Network. Make sure you go find us on YouTube, youtube.com/ETB Network. I don't know what the color of the button is anymore. It used to be red. Now it's like black and gray. Like YouTube is. Did you see YouTube now has they're doing like a Twitter handle. Now it's at ETB Network, and you look at it on YouTube.
Yeah, because everything is Twitter and everything, and even
and Instagram. Now they have shorts like from Instagram now on YouTube. Like,
God, you all are competing for the same audience. Why do you have to all look the same? Oh God! But you know what? I'll temper myself down, and you know what?
Yes.
For my venerable co-host, Mr. Nick Morgasen, I'm Nick Fodera, and I say to you, good night, everybody. See you back on the bench.
Good night, everybody. We'll see you next week for episode 54.